don't go, please don't go, please don't go, please don't go, please don't go.
Each and every person is a professional, in their own way, in distinguishing music they like and don't like. Personal preference and opinion in music taste is an area that many feel adept in and can define themselves as experts in. Although the amount of music listeners is abundant, the amount of people who transition that listening to creating is relatively few. What causes these people to want to go beyond listening, and how do they translate personal impact to mass impact? Today we will learn the answers to these questions and more by talking to the members of an alternative band from the Gulf Coast of Florida, DBMK.
I could touch the night.
I have here with me the drummer, Colton Ward, and the lead singer, Kyle Knudsen. So Colton, what would you say is your first memory of music impacting you?
So the first memory of music that I have is probably way back when I was 3 or 4, I guess. My parents got me this little toy drum, and I would like play on that thing all the time. Like it was just always what I was doing around the house and stuff like that. And so I don't know. My parents, after I beat the crap out of that, my parents bought me this little toy drum set, and then I don't know, it just went from there and progressed. But really my first memories of music would have to be when I was before preschool.
Okay, Kyle, so what about you?
My first memory of music would be from like a listening kind of standpoint. When I was younger, my grandparents would always play these jazz and blues albums when I was at their house, and like Ramsey Lewis and Burt Bacharach and stuff like that. And I just became infatuated with that kind of music, and so naturally I did the very natural thing. I went straight from jazz to punk music. That was kind of the tipping point of my music vocabulary. Then I just started to devour everything. So kind of went off on a tangent there, but my first memories of music were my grandparents playing music that would end up being my favorite music of all time.
Okay, so next question. When did you realize you wanted to make music, and what caused that realization?
When I was in middle school, I started doing musical theater because it was kind of a cool thing to do, ironically. And I had been singing and making up these melodies and songs kind of as long as I could remember. But I started doing musical theater, and I realized my love for performing, and I fell in love with that. And by the time I finished 8th grade, I was originally planning on taking engineering magnet in high school and being on the football team and all that kind of stuff. But then I went through this musical theater class, and then at the end of it, I was like, no, I'm going to study classical voice at this magnet art high school. And it was kind of from then on, that this is what I need to do. This is what I'm supposed to do.
For me, in the 5th grade, I think, I started taking band at my school, like concert band. And I don't know, that was really like one of the first times I was actually like able to play with other people, because I had drum lessons before that, but I don't know, that wasn't as much to me as like playing with other people. And so when I started playing with a group of other people, there's just some type of connection that you get when you're just like making music with other people. And I don't know, I still to this day, playing with these guys on stage and stuff like that, I still get that same connection. And it's just something you can't even explain. It's just decided like this is what I want to do because this is the best thing I've ever done ever.
Passion is fundamental for the creation of music, and it's clear that these guys are passionate about what they create. Here's a sample of a song called Nocturne from their latest album.
I miss the sounds the most, the folds in her clothes, and the spots on her nose.
Okay, next question. In creating music, what is your goal?
In composing music and even performing it, I think the goal is to create atmospheres. Our music is it's very much about mood, and it's very much about the setting and the characters and the plot and all of that. There's very much a cinematic atmosphere that goes along with it. And that's kind of been my goal, is to make this little world that we can sort of set up, and we play our show, and then we move along and we take our world with us, and we set up wherever we go, and we just recreate that atmosphere in different ways each time, because no show is the same, and we just make this big, lush, loud landscape of sound.
And then finally, tell me about an experience where you have firsthand seen an impact your music has caused on others.
Well, so after all of our shows, we like to go outside, like behind the venue or somewhere, and meet everybody that came to the show and just take pictures with them and talk with them and hang out. And there have been a few instances where there's been a kid that comes up to either me or Kyle or somebody in our band, probably usually Kyle, but they say stuff like, I don't know, your music has helped me through a really hard time and stuff like that. And I've heard that all the time. And it's, I don't know, it's just like a really moving type thing, because like something that you're creating, and it's just a really, humbling is like the only word I can come up with to even describe it. But yeah. So there's been a few, but
That's
cool. And I think that's kind of, that sort of experience is what makes it all real and worth it for us.
Yeah.
Because it's really easy to get, with just the four of us, it's really easy to feel somewhat isolated and restricted. So when people, even in the audience, it will start a song and someone will be so overwhelmed with everything that the song makes them feel, and they just break down, and they can't help but do it right then and there. It's really, really powerful to watch, and I've seen that so many times. And before Collapse came out, I was sitting in a car with one of my friends, and this was kind of the end of my senior year of high school, so super weird, kind of like end of the world type feeling. So it was just a bunch of weird, kind of strange mixed emotions, and I played her Analog Boy, and the first half of the song, it's just a massive build up essentially, and I call it the A section.
I don't know, can you check my...
What if it just...
And she was just so overwhelmed, and she was one of the first people that heard it, and she was just so overwhelmed that she started just like laughing and crying at the same time, and she kind of was just feeling a bunch of emotions all at the same time, and I was like, wow, okay, this is the real deal,
I would like to say a huge thanks to Colton Ward and Kyle Knudsen for talking with me today. Please check out DBMK's new album, Collapse.